You donated one of your kidneys to a loved one.
Yes. September the 1st, 2006, I donated my left kidney to Bruce Keaton, who was then my boyfriend.
Oh,
So that's been 16 years now for the kidney, and we both doing fine.
so you're working your job and he's doing his job, and you guys are living in Buffalo and falling in love. And as far as you know, he's healthy.
Yes, he was healthy. No problem, no nothing. He got sick. I think they called me. He was at work. They took him to the hospital. The doctor told him, I have to get that blood pressure down, and it's going to take the rest of your kidney out. I didn't know anything about a kidney. I knew nothing. I just knew that his ankles was so big and swollen. His body was swollen. And the doctor said, my job is to get that blood pressure down, and it's going to take your kidney out. And I'm looking, I'm like, you got kidney problems? I didn't know nothing about a kidney. I didn't know he had a kidney problem. I knew nothing.
How did he react?
He didn't even know what to say. And the thing he said to me, he said, if you walk away, I will understand. That's exactly what he said to me. He said he didn't have to be at this stage. It probably would have happened, but not now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still looking like I'm in shock. I'm just not saying a word, not saying nothing. And I had to go to work that night.
Was he still in the ER when you went off to work?
Yeah, he was still in the ER, and my sister stayed with him. And then she called me. She said, are you okay? I said, no, I'm not okay. How do you go from this extent to this extent? I said, no, I'm not okay. And for someone to tell you that somebody's in kidney failure and you had no clue, no nothing, I had nothing. And it even took him off guard. He didn't even realize that. He was just dazed. He said, I can't believe I'm in kidney failure. I said, I can't believe you got a kidney problem. What can I say? You look just so healthy. He said, if you left, I will understand. I said, I'm not going to go nowhere. I'm not going nowhere. You're a good-hearted person. And I'm like, I'm sorry this happened to you, but I'm not going anywhere. And I didn't go anywhere. And then he started dialysis. Then when he first went to dialysis to go in the room, he was shaking so bad. He said, I can't do it. I can't go in there. I can't go in there. And they're like, oh my God, well, you got to do dialysis. That they actually let me go in with him. I had to go in. They said, well, no one is allowed back here. But he said, I can't do it. I can't do it. Being inside of a dialysis room, smelling blood, looking at a machine, suck, suck, suck. I was like, oh my God. And that one day we both sat back there and we was both crying. And he was doing dialysis. It was like for 3 hours. And I'm telling him, it's okay, don't worry about it. I'm saying to myself, oh my God, what in the world is going on here? Because everything happened just that fast. So they told him the next time you go to dialysis, I won't be able to come back there. And maybe we'll try to do, work something out. And in my heart, I was saying, I don't want to go back or either. Yeah. That's not a nice place to go. So I never left him. I was always there for him. Like I said, it was like a change for both of us. And it was like a sudden change for both of us. And I didn't know what else to say. The one time we was at doctor, we were talking to him. And I said, why? He had got so dark. It was like real black and pink lips. That he said, because he needs a kidney. I said, okay, but he's doing dialysis. He said, that's only a life support. He needs a kidney. I'm like, oh, okay. I said, but why is he so dark like that? He said, because unless he get a kidney, he's going to die within a year. And I'm like, oh, I didn't know what to say. That's how bad he was, because he was having a lot of problems. His dialysis, twice taken off of there. And he was crying. I was crying. He says, that's how bad he was. So the nurse comes in and she said, you know what? Have you think about donating a kidney? I'm like, are you crazy? I'm about to die. I knew nothing about it. And they had like a kidney meeting thing. She said, why don't you try going to the kidney meeting thing? So I was there and I listened to everything. So then I got tested for a kidney. And I was at work when they said I was a match. I dropped the phone. I said, I'm not donating no kidney. You're even gonna kill me, because I was still scared. And then it was like I went to the meeting. Barbara, she was my angel. She showed me videos. She showed my family the videos. My youngest son, he said, "Ma, you'll be okay because my friend that works with me, he gave his brother a kidney and he does good." I said, "Okay." So after that, I was at work when they said I was a match. I panicked. I went to the meeting. I learned the video. It was through the videos and talking to people and doctors that made me comfortable with making my decision. But it's so sad because I knew nothing about the kidney. I knew nothing about donation. I knew nothing. It's like I couldn't do it because I didn't know anything about it. And to be able to help somebody, I would do it again. If I had another kidney, I would do it again. I really would. And that's from the heart. I would actually do it again. It wasn't that bad. Out of everything, my throat was the only thing that hurt. I had a sore throat out of everything. It's just an experience you'll never forget. I can remember everything, but what made me feel good about donating is 6 months. I got worked up for 6 months, and every doctor told me, what you're doing is a wonderful thing, but our job is to take care of you. Our job is to make sure that when that kidney is gone, you're fine and you won't have no problems. I said, okay. And he always reassured me that this is for you. He said, sometime through the work that we did, they couldn't donate because they found things that was going to happen to them. I said, wow. And I remember going to my primary doctor with the blood work. And he said, I am so amazed at this blood work. He said, this is like $1 million blood work. What you got, this is amazing. He said, any doubts that I had about you doing this, he said, it's gone. He said, you'll be good. And then get him his approval, it meant a lot to me. But through the way I could talk to the doctors and they would talk back with me, or they'll say, see that something is going on. They'll say, well, what's wrong? And I'm like, I don't know. It's just like you still get scared, but then you're not so scared.
Right.
And then I'll look at this man again and I said, you know what? I got your back. We're going to do this. And that's how I felt about it. We're going to do this. And then we had Barbara. She was always checking on us, always helping us.
Did they make your incision near your belly? Belly button? Yeah.
I had the 2 incision here and then come out through the belly, through the navel.
Oh, okay.
I was fine. And then I had the extra time off because I did lifting at work. I was good. I did the 3 days and then I went home. And I know in the hospital, Bruce is supposed to stay in the intensive care. And he stayed in my room and they couldn't get him out of my room. And I remember looking up and I said, boy, he looks familiar. That's what I said. When I first looked at him, I said, he looked familiar. From the time I was dating him, I never seen him so light. I've always seen him like on, I said, boy, he looked familiar. And I remember they said when they hooked that last blood vessel, they said he just started peeing. He did good. He did really good. And it's amazing how a kidney can make a big difference in somebody.
Yeah. Well, and you saw him get more energy and less swelling of the ankles and all that stuff. I mean, I can't imagine basically being in a relationship with someone who gets that diagnosis and watching them deteriorate in front of your eyes, and then you get to see what you did and how that person recovered and went on to thrive.
Yeah. And the good thing about it, I have a picture of when I first met Bruce. From the picture, honest to God, he must have had this all along because he looks, it's just it's just like 2 different people. And I'm like, wow. I said, you must have been sick for a while. He didn't think he was. He said nothing bothered him. And they did tell him that he was having a problem with his kidney, but I don't think he didn't take it serious.
Yeah, he felt good, so he probably thought, yeah, it's not serious, maybe.
Right. He worked a lot of overtime, plus he took care of his mother, and he didn't take care of himself. And that's what happened. So high blood pressure took his kidneys out.
When he started dialysis, did he become depressed?
Oh my God, yes. He was so depressed. He didn't care. And I told him, look, I'm gonna take this journey with you, but you gotta do your part. Because I can't deal with this. You giving up like this. And I felt like, if we're gonna go through this together, then we gotta do this together. And he'll tell you if it wasn't for me, he think he would have gave up. That was like crazy for me. It really was. But he was, like I say, he's a good-hearted person, and I wasn't going nowhere. And I'm glad everything turned out good. And he does really good.
When you were being worked up, was that challenging in any way?
Yes. And if I say no, I'd be lying. Yes, it was. If it was 6 months, I had to giving blood, doing the blood thing. And then I had to do the stress test. I had to do a lot of tests. And they will always say, this is to protect you. We want what you got, but we want you to be healthy. Our concern is you. And they made it known their concern was me. And even I said, oh no, they said, but how you feel? They was always worried about how did I feel? And I felt good. Sometimes I think I did get a little stressed out, but I felt good between working and doing these tests and everything. And they said, the good part about it, he's going to get a live kidney. He's going to get a good kidney. And in the meantime, you're going to get the best checkup you ever had in your life.
Did you feel like the testing process was going too slowly, given that he was on dialysis?
I thought it was. I did. I thought it was going slow, but they let me know that it has to be done this way. We have to cross our T's and dot our I's. That's what I was told. We cross our T's and we dot our I's so that you're going to be good. And they said that every time if you feel like you want to change your mind, you can. But our job is to make sure you be okay. And they did. They made sure I was okay. All of them was good to me.
Did you become more of a, in terms of the caregiving aspect of him being on dialysis, did you feel stress related to that, or kind of just take it in stride?
I want to say I took it in stride because it was fine. Because when we were together, he was bubbly. I would keep him going. If I had to work long hours or something, I talked to him, he'd be like, how you doing? Oh, I'm okay. He would just like get depressed. And I'm like, come on now, you gotta help me out. Then my sister would come over and sit with him sometime. My mother started sitting with him. And I guess he started getting close to my family because they was like embracing him, trying to keep him going, because he was a good person. And even though he was sick, he was still trying to take care of his mother.
You had so many supportive people around. It's interesting because we evaluate people, and I think we don't see the other side, the side where it's important to be encouraging and sort of give hope and prop people up. And that takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of love, and so he had that from you and your family.
The last time he was taken from dialysis to the hospital, they thought he had a heart attack. And I remember the doctor said, if he had a heart attack, you can't give him no kidney. And I remember saying to that doctor, he could have a heart attack, whatever he has, he's getting this kidney. He's going to get it. And I think that's the only time I think I really got mad. You can't tell me he's getting this kidney, but he didn't have a heart attack. It was like too much fluid was taken off or something like that. But I think, and through my transplant, everyone in my family have signed their driver's license. That the stereo was like, I'm not signing my license because if something happens to me, they're going to let me die. I said, no, that's not true. They're not going to do it. And I find myself, I got a lot, even my girlfriends, I got them all to sign. And I think because they see my experience and they say, you don't look like a donor. Well, what do a donor look like? I didn't think I looked like one either. What did we look like?
I know.
I don't know. But I get asked that question. You don't look like one. Why would you do that? Because I never thought I would. And I always tell the story. I never thought I would be donating a kidney because I was ignorant to the fact and I did not know. And I said, well, that's good to know. It's good that I can see you and you look good. You exercise. I still do everything. It's to hear the stories. You don't, at that time, I didn't hear many stories of nobody donating. I saw it through a video, but there was nobody to say, oh, I donated.
Right.
You want to see somebody who actually did it. So that was my story.
All right. Thank you, Aurelia. That was awesome.
Thank you, Dr. Kylie, for letting me tell my story.